A couple of months ago, I walked in on one of my family members watching Gus Van Sant's 2003 movie Elephant. Because of that movie, I began researching the events surrounding the subject it is highly based on. I already knew of it, that this movie made me want to research the events that prompted the plot of Elephant. One way or another, this helped me to discover Zero Day, which was also released in 2003. This video will probably contain spoilers for Zero Day and Elephant, and will discuss violent and sensitive topics that I do not support in any way. But I will not be showing any graphic imagery, whether fictional or otherwise. If there's any specific warnings to note, I'll mention them before they come up. And if you haven't seen Zero Day, I highly recommend you watch it before you watch this video. The video is also largely opinion-based, and it's a safe space for people to talk about their personal opinions on Zero Day and other movies similar to it. So, there's no reason to be negative in the comments. I also apologize in advance if it seems like I'm criticizing any of the movies that I mention in the video. I also want to apologize if the pronunciation of any words or names is incorrect. I wanted to use my own voice for this video, but it didn't really go well, so I used text-to-speech. Without further ado, let's start the video. Zero Day is an American film directed by Ben Cocchio, which is about two young men, Andre Kriegman and Calvin Gabriel, who intend to attack the high school that they attend, calling their plan Zero Day. Cocchio has discussed his motivations for creating the film in many interviews. In a 2003 interview, he said, "I think, in a sense, my aim, my desire, was to make a movie that translated that initial shock of feeling that I had when I watched Columbine on television." These insights highlight Cocchio's intent to create a film that delves into the psychological and emotional aspects of school shootings, moving beyond mere sensationalism. Because I watched Elephant before I had seen Zero Day, at first, I thought everything in Elephant was true. Specifically the parts where the film implemented the early rumors of 1. Eric being the twisted mastermind and Dylan being his adherent 2. Eric and Dylan being gay, and 3. Eric killing Dylan. In the final part of the movie, which is when the massacre happens, Alex, who seems to represent Eric Harris, and Eric, who seems to represent Dylan Klebold, kiss in the shower. And the near end of the film, Alex abruptly shoots and kills Eric. We actually see Zero Day apply the rumor of Eric being the hothead leader who has no friends, and Dylan being the depressed follower, but this gets disproven later on. While Andre, who parallels Eric, is short-tempered, and Cal, who parallels Dylan, is depressed. We later see Cal reveal his true colors, sort of being a wolf in sheep's clothing. In my opinion, he's actually more dangerous than Andre, as he seems to know how to hide his true personality. Both Elephant and Zero Day handle the subject matter they're based on with different approaches. Elephant shows a seemingly normal school day through the perspectives of multiple students, and it doesn't really delve into the characters' lives or personalities, only their basic interactions with one another. This movie, in my opinion, didn't need to have a kiss scene because, like I said, it didn't explore the characters' personal lives or motivations in detail, just their surface-level interactions, even for Alex and Eric. Because of this, I feel like the kiss scene in Elephant felt unnecessary and didn't add to the story in a meaningful way. Zero Day, however, was set up as a segment of taped recordings leading up to the attack Andre and Cal would commit on their school. To me, these tapes slowly built up our two main characters and gave the viewers an insight into who they were. So much so that if this film had a kissing scene, I would not question it. I also feel as if Zero Day feels more believable because of its use of old camcorder recording style, similar to the basement tapes from the actual Columbine attack. When I watched Zero Day, I read comments from people who used to think Zero Day was real. Some of them only found out it was fictional because of the movie being uploaded onto YouTube, or they replied to comments that clarified that at the end of the day, Zero Day is a fictional film. Zero Day and Elephant offer distinct perspectives on their subject matter, each shaped by different storytelling choices and influences. Elephant presents a fragmented, observational look at a school day from multiple viewpoints. This approach captures the unsettling banality of the tragedy, but it didn't deeply exploring the shooters' lives before the tragedy. Meanwhile, Zero Day takes a more intimate and focused approach by using camcorder-style footage to build a psychological portrait of its two main characters over time, which adds emotional complexity to the movie. Obviously, I'm not saying Zero Day is better than Elephant, and it's okay if you like Elephant more than Zero Day, but comparing it with Elephant, which takes a more detached, observational approach, helped me recognize how storytelling choices can shape and even change the public's opinion on real events. As when I watched Elephant, I took almost everything at face value, but Zero Day gave me a more nuanced perspective without excusing or sympathizing with the real attackers. Thank you if you've watched the video all the way up until this point. You've made it to the end. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my thoughts on Zero Day. If you have any personal reflections or perspectives on the movies I mentioned or on the subject matter, please feel free to share them respectfully in the comments. My channel is a safe space for harmless conversations, and your voice matters. If there's any other subjects you want me to cover, you can also comment them below.